What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Hope y'all are doing awesome. Back today, we're going to be talking about the opinion of Bucky Brooks from NFL. This is from Giants.com, and he was giving his list of top prospects from the draft from every position. I'm not going to cover every position, but he was just kind of going over it. And I know we all have our opinion on who the Giants should pick and whatnot, especially with that third round pick, what they should do with it. And I have my opinions. I know I'll catch a lot of heat. I'm not going to get too far into it and into the woods, but I think I don't think they should take a quarterback with number 3. But that's just me. I'm not too. I mean, it is what it is. There's some good. There's a few decent quarterbacks there, but I think they could do better in free agency with a quarterback and use their pick for something different. That's just me. I know I'm going to catch a lot of heat from people for that, but you know what? It is what it is. But anyway, Bucky Brooks from the Giants, from Giants Now, Giants.com, top 5 prospects by position rankings. In just over 10 days, the NFL world will meet in Indianapolis for the NFL Combine. The Combine will provide hundreds of draft prospects the opportunity to meet with NFL teams and showcase their skills in front of talent evaluators. Every year, NFL Network's Bucky Brooks ranks the top 5 players at each position group in the upcoming draft class. Brooks just released his first edition of the 25 position prospect rankings, along with commentary in each position. So we're going to get into that. Is this a new one, or did he just barely come out with it? February 13th, so it's fairly new. I mean, it's a few days old. We're on the 23rd, so it's 10 days old. It's a 10-day-old article from. So many of you have probably already heard this or whatever, read this. Those of you that are kind of keep up with it, but all right, let's dive in. Quarterbacks. Number 1, he's got Shedeur Sanders. 2, Cam Ward. 3, Jackson Dart. 4, Jalen Milroe. And 5, Kyle McCord. I think I would put Ward ahead of Sanders, but again, that's just me. I think Ward's got more. He's more versatile. I think he's just a better all around athlete / quarterback than Sanders is, and I think Sanders is a kind of a little Caleb Williams-esque, where he's a little bit more hype than talent. But that's just me. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying I think there's a little bit more hype there that Dion is kind of putting him out to be. The 2025 quarterback class lacks the pizzazz of last year's group, but a few prospects could pop as starters at the next level. Yeah, I didn't think there was a whole lot. I thought last year's class was way better, and I think next year's class might be a tad better. That's why I'm saying I don't know if they should just jump the gun on a quarterback, because I mean that's kind of what happened with 2019. The 18 had a great quarterback class. 18 had an awesome quarterback class. People were telling them to pull the trigger on a quarterback. They didn't. They picked Saquon Barkley, which, not too many people now are disappointed with that pick. They are now that he's gone, but a lot of people got on board with the Saquon Barkley thing pretty quick, but they missed out on a good quarterback class. They had an excellent quarterback class in 18. They waited till 19. 19, what'd they have in 19? Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins. They had Kyler Murray, but he went number 1, and he's not really doing the greatest either. He's not bad, but and then 2020 we had an awesome quarterback class there. So I'm just saying, you don't have to pick a quarterback if the class isn't that good. You don't have to. Don't just listen to the fans. Don't just get some talent for when that good quarterback class does come up. Pick up a decent, younger-ish free agent quarterback that can handle the team for a year or two until a good quarterback class does come. That's why I'm saying. See, there's reasons I say that. It's not just I'm not just going against the grain just to be a jerk. I'm just the quarterback class isn't really great. There's a few decent ones, but how decent? That's my point here. Running backs. Ashton Gentry, number one out of Boise State. Omarion Hampton, Caleb Johnson, Travion Henderson, and Quinshawn Judkins. Two Ohio Staters. But I don't think we're too really in the need for a running back. I mean, we could use a good running back. I mean, obviously we lost Saquon Barkley, but Tyrone Tracy showed a lot of potential. He showed a lot of heart, a lot of potential, and a lot of yeah, this kid's pretty good. I mean, he may not be Saquon Barkley good, but he's showing them that he can step in and be the guy for us. The NFL running back renaissance should continue with the 2025 class featuring several blue chip players offering workhorse potential. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the running backs too much again because we're not in dire need of a running back. Some of you may argue, yeah, we should have kept Saquon, but we should have. But as of right now, how much better would he have helped our team just by keeping him here? It wouldn't have helped him any. He got a Super Bowl ring now, but it wouldn't have helped our team much either. We would have had maybe one more win, maybe if that. So it's like, how can you decipher whether we should have kept Saquon just by, he left, got a Super Bowl ring, he left. We would have had one or two more wins. We'd have still been, it is what it is. But anyway, wide receivers. These names that people name their kids anymore. Tetoria McMillan out of Arizona. Luther Burden III out of Missouri. Emeka Egbuka. Trey Harris. And Isaiah Bond. See, that's something they could possibly try and squeeze this. If you do want a quarterback, maybe they could pick up like Jackson Dart in the first round, and then pick up his receiver Trey Harris in the second round. Then we could have a good quarterback wide receiver with two good wide receivers. I could possibly go that route, but we really have to beef up our line, or it doesn't really matter what quarterback we have back there. I mean, they're going to get pummeled every single play like Daniel Jones did. And I know Daniel Jones wasn't the greatest, I get it, but you know what? I think he started out in his career, he had potential. He was coming in, he was showing signs of potential. But when you go through that many coaches in this course of just a decade, when you have 4 or 5 different coaching staffs come in within 10 years, that's an average of every 2 years. That's hard on young quarterbacks and struggling teams that, you're not giving these coaches enough time to rebuild. They're coming in for a couple of years, don't win, you're out. Coming for a couple of years with this trash we got, can't win, you're out. You got to keep them around. You got to let them build. You got to give them a few good years to rebuild the thing. And I think Jones had potential. And I'm not trying to say that the Giants wasted his potential because, he went downhill. He went downhill fast. But he got hurt one season. Everybody was blaming him for a bad season. But he was injured 3/4 of the season. So it's like, how can you blame that on him. And then last year he came in and he was just getting pummeled. He was getting rushed so much he was forced into making some poor decisions. And then sometimes when he had time to think, he still made a poor decision because he's like just always thinking that somebody's after him. And they need to work on their line a lot. Their O line. I mean, they need to focus a lot on that. I mean, we need help other positions too, but I would start with, if it were me, if I were getting paid millions of dollars to run the team, I'd invest heavily into an offensive line. But that's just me. I don't make millions of dollars to run the team, but I see what I see. Tight ends. Number 1, Tyler Warren. 2, Colston Loveland. Harold Fannin Jr., Gunnar Helm, and Elijah Arroyo. The 2025 tight end crop is loaded with hybrid talent. Some block like offensive tackles, others route run like wide receivers. A select few do both. The versatile athletes within the class will make it easy for some teams to transition to multi-tight end sets next season. I'm doing a lot of double tights and stuff like that. There's been a lot of that going on. A lot of they're using tight ends like receivers. Some teams, and they're utilizing double tights, and that's good. But I mean, our tight ends are still young, have potential, but I don't know if we'll end up drafting a tight end. Offensive tackles. Will Campbell. That's who we should pick up. Will Campbell. With our number 2 pick, with our second round pick, we should pick up Kelvin Banks. With our number 3 pick, we should pick up Josh Simmons. No, and the number 4, Armand Membu. And number 5, Josh Connery. This offensive tackle group features several intriguing prospects with day 1 starting potential. Let's get one of those guys. Let's try and squeeze one of those maybe in day 2. Squeeze whatever. I'm not saying with number 3 pick. No, not number 3 pick. I mean, if that's what we're really after, then yeah, but not number 3 pick. If we traded that pick if we've traded that pick and move back in the draft, maybe pick one. Not a number 3. Sorry, you pick talent at number 3, not. But anyway, that's again my opinion. But I think we need to work heavily on that. Interior offensive lineman: Tyler Booker, Donovan Jackson, Gray Zabel, Jared Wilson, and Ayani Cornelius. Don't really know a lot of those, but again, get some good offensive linemen in there if we have to, if we can and have to. Teams looking for bullies at the point of attack will be intrigued by this interior offensive line group. Defensive tackle. I think we're okay on defensive tackles. Mason Graham, Walter Nolan, Kenneth Grant, Henry Harmon, J.T. Sanders. With the talent and depth on offer in the defensive tackle class, teams seeking disruptive interior defenders should be able to address their needs. An end, we could possibly use a D end. Nick Scorton, Jack Sawyer, Landon Jackson, Prince Emmanuelin. Sorry, dude. You just got one of those names, and I'm horrible with names. Seymour Stewart. This group is loaded with potential difference makers. Outside backer: Abdul Carter, James Pearce Jr., Michael Williams, Mike Green, Donovan Ezruku. I think that's how you pronounce that. Cornerbacks: Travis Hunter, Will Johnson, Shavon Reevil, Benjamin Morrison, and Jahdae Barron. I skipped over the linebackers because I don't think we're too in need of a linebacker, really. I mean, linebackers: Jalen Walker, Jihad Campbell. There's a few safeties. I think we're good on safeties, but anyway, there's basically his list. The really prime big ones, I think that the difference is going to be, I think Cam's should go number one over Sanders. I could even see Sanders dropping back a little bit, but who knows? The Raiders may pick him up, but I don't know. I'm optimistic this year. I think there's potential here, but I sure hope they can do something. I know the fans are getting a little impatient. The owners are getting a little impatient. The coaches are getting a little impatient. So I think it's just a matter of time before we pop again, and that's what we're hoping for. But again, that's the video for today. Appreciate you. Love y'all. Do the YouTube stuff, the podcast stuff. Hit the subscribe, the follow buttons. Do the stuff. If you feel like donating, I'll put a donation tab down there if you feel like donating a few bucks, but you don't have to do that. That's just down there. If somebody out there just decides they want to do that, that would be cool. But like I said, you don't have to do that. No pressure. Just hit the subscribe. I'm not even asking for that, but if you could do that, that would be wonderful. But anyway, appreciate y'all. Love you. We'll see you in the next one.